Every day, new images and video of the fight between Russia and Ukraine are out, and it can be challenging to watch, especially for children. Dr. Mari Kurahashi from Stanford Children's Health joins me now, and you have some advice for parents in approaching this subject. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First up, should parents be the ones to bring it up or wait for the kids to say something?
Yeah, it's a great question that many parents wonder about. In general, with big events like Ukraine, most children and adolescents have heard about Ukraine in some way, whether through the news, through social media, overhearing other adults, parents talking about it. So it's usually helpful to just, one, check in and see, have you heard about Ukraine? What have you heard? And just be opening the door to having conversation about it.
How young is too young to open that door to talk about this?
Great questions. So certainly, babies would be too young. And at the same time, parents tend to underestimate their child's awareness about world events. Even children 4 or 5 years old will most likely have heard about Ukraine in some way. And younger children can have very active imaginations. So it can be really important to check in and hear what they've heard, what their thoughts about it, be able to, one, talk about difficult topics, and then also be able to address any anxiety, any misinformation that they might be having as well.
And what are some of the common questions from children, and how do you answer them?
Yes, so common questions could be, for younger children who can be quite concrete, they can have questions like, where is Ukraine? And children are often very kind and can be wondering what can they do to help. And it can be really important to foster that helpfulness, the compassion. In terms of more concrete information for younger children, it can be helpful to show a map, maybe use a globe and describe where Ukraine is. And in terms of talking about what's happening, to use very simple language, taking into account the child's age, the child's temperament, how anxious are they. Whereas for adolescents, they can have more complex questions about what's going on there. Why is this happening? And for adolescents, it could be helpful for parents to be asking them, well, what do you think? What do you know? And educate them and also learn together. It's okay for parents to not have all the answers, but to maybe look into those things together.
And so kind of having a conversation then.
Right. More of a conversation with adolescents. With younger children, it might be more leading the conversation while also checking in with whatever questions or concerns they might have.
And how do you handle the influx of images and information from TV, also social media?
Yes, so in today's age of social media, it's so important for parents to first really model healthy social media use and to be talking about it with their family. It's important to talk about the balance of being informed while also not being on social media excessively. For families to be talking about having dialogue about what are the benefits of social media and what are potential concerns, and maybe come up with family agreements around healthy use of social media, and also for parents to be actively checking in about what are their children looking at on social media, and to be looking for any misinformation that they might be exposed to and being able to also correct some of that.
How can you tell if your kids may need further support?
The common symptoms for children who are having more significant anxiety that might require further support would be things like trouble sleeping, loss of interest in things that they're typically interested in. For younger children, more clinginess, refusing to go to school, changes in appetite, and so on. That lasts for more than a day. That kind of is a continuous consistent symptoms that are impairing their general functioning.
Some telling signs. Dr. Mari Kurahashi from Stanford Children's Health, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.